Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of our Squatva devlog series. In the last episode, we created our exercise model and our database API to store those custom exercises in the database. In this episode, we're going to look into the database in a bit more detail, and then build our create exercise screen, and then look at how we can filter and search through our exercises. But first, let's talk about our database. Structuring your database is a challenge in any project, and it can have some real implications further on down the line, so it's important to think about it early. Now, I saw there being 2 ways that I could set up the database for this project. Option 1, I could store my exercises within each user document in the database. Within each user, there would be a subcollection called exercise, and in there you would have each of your different documents for those exercises. This is a pretty good option if only the user will ever see these exercises. But actually that's not going to be the case in our app. In our application, a user may create a custom exercise, but there's a high chance that that gets shared between coaches and athletes. So to get around this, instead of nesting all of our exercises within our user documents, I've split that out into a separate exercise collection. And within here, we can see a list of all of the exercises that all users have created. But within that document, I've linked the user ID for the user who did create it. And what that allows is easy querying, because now I just need to check for which documents have a user ID that matches the current logged in user, but it also makes it easier to share in the future. Now, I think this is a good setup. I'm no expert by any stretch of the imagination, and so there's a pretty decent chance that this changes later on in the project. But for now, we're going to stick with this. So now that we're done with that, let's get back into some coding. Last week we made some changes to our exercise model, so we're going to need to make some changes to our create exercise screen. That's what we're going to start with now. To save rewriting code, I've repurposed the create exercise so that if you send an exercise to it, it will turn into the edit exercise menu. Just saves me rewriting everything. I was making really good progress on this actually, until I came across this really annoying bug. If I typed in a name into the exercise, and then I hit the advanced button and then hit save, the name wasn't saved. Oh, it was so frustrating. I had print statements everywhere and I just couldn't understand why it was happening. Turns out, actually, I just reused the same text editing controller for the name and the link. So whatever I typed into link also got saved to name. It's a stupid mistake, but once I got it, a really nice, easy fix. Now that we're done with that, it's time to get back to the iPad and get designing. I want to start looking at how we search and filter exercises. I have 2 options here and I'm not sure which one to pick. We have the first option, which has a search bar and a filter button. And when I click the filter button, it'll take me to a new page where I can check some boxes and choose what to filter. Or we have the second option with a search bar and some buttons underneath. And when I click those buttons, I'll get the sort of modal pop up at the bottom, allowing me to do the same kind of checkbox and marking it as done. I'm not sure which I'm going to do, so let's build them out in the UI, and maybe we'll have a better idea then. I'm not sure which one I like best, so I think I'm just going to play around with both of them for the next few days and see which one I prefer, and we'll use that one moving forwards. I reckon that's enough for today. Join me next time for another episode of the Squatva devlog series.